I don't know about you, Morgan, but it's one of those days where a little bit of oil,
It does a
you know
body
what I'm
good.
saying? It's
Yeah.
necessary. It's necessary. It's necessary. This topic right here, girl.
See, I don't know about you, but I love using the blends, different kinds of blends. Today, like I
Yes.
have my Egyptian gold, and it has
Mm.
like frankincense and myrrh and all this amazingness in it. And it
Funny
really,
because I was
really,
going to do myrrh today. I was going to do myrrh,
yeah.
but instead I'm doing actually lemon eucalyptus. One of the
Mm,
properties here is this is definitely a protecting type of oil. And it's one that I chose because this particular topic for many women, I think, is one of those ones that kind of makes them clench. We're going to be talking about some real life
mm.
stuff here, the things that you don't say out loud, the things you don't talk about. And, you know, I need to be protected from feeling too overwhelmed by it. And I think everyone does too. So we always prepare ourselves before these conversations, just so you know. And welcome to Getting to After.
Well,
Now, I'm Chatone Morrison. I'm the Princess of Positivity, and this right here, this beauty, gorgeous bride to be, is called.
oh, wait. I'm sorry. Did you say bride to be? Did
You
did
see how she
anybody catch
missed
that?
her intro? She missed her
No,
whole
that
intro.
was my intro. I'm gonna be milking this out for a couple more episodes just to give you guys a heads up. But
We about that life over here. I'm all here for it.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. I'm Morgan Bustos. Welcome to Getting to After. I am an EFT practitioner, a life coach, public speaker, and more than anything, I genuinely love helping women that are coming through domestic violence, trying to get to their after. So, welcome everybody to this amazing episode. Once again, that ties in with the last couple of weeks. So, if you've missed it, go back because all of this is cycling through to make a really, really good impact on our summer.
Yes, yes, yes. So go back. So this is our body confidence series. I typically do this around June. We did about 2 episodes last year, but we're doing a full 4 episode, a full month in June. We had to, of course, give up the first week of June because we had to celebrate Morgan's engagement. But we're talking about body criticism this particular week as it pertains to midlife women in particular. But obviously, it's a topic that affects so many women across the board. So one of the things I want to say right off the bat, Morgan, is that if you have a daughter, maybe she's a teenager, maybe she's early 20s. If you have a mom, a sister, a friend, a neighbor who you know good and well is things you don't talk about, but you listen to them doing this kind of criticizing themselves, feeling a certain way, keeping themselves from doing certain activities, make sure that don't just gift yourself with this. This is the kind that you want to share with others. So make sure you do that. Last week we were kind of talking about how the body is distrusted, how we often distrust our body. And again, these are words that you don't necessarily say out loud. You're not saying, I distrust my body today. No,
Mhm.
but everyone knows because of the way that you treat yourself or the things that you say about yourself. And this week we're kind of talking about like where that kind of leaves off, right? So when you kind of have that distrust, Morgan, the next thing that happens is the criticism. And last week you talked a little bit about those standards or expectations that come from other people. And a lot of times those are the things that we kind of we start to engraft for ourselves, we adopt them, usually stems in childhood. And you're gonna
Mhm.
see some of that in this episode too. So Morgan was giving some examples, things that she saw as a child, things that she experienced as a child, and things that she saw with her own daughter. I talked about some of those as well, and in particular things that happen with teachers sometimes,
Mm,
mentors,
yeah.
sometimes our coaches, right, gymnastic coaches, sports coaches, right, while they're busy building us up, sometimes they're tearing us down, and we don't realize that that little girl, she's holding on to these messages, right? And so today, kind of piggybacking on last week, we're talking about where does this body criticism begin? What were the comments that were made, the different comparisons that we heard, and the experiences that taught us not just to distrust our body, but now to say, well, I'm going to keep myself away from doing things. So that's why this is the cost of body criticism. It's not a financial cost. Well, sometimes
Mm,
it might be. It's not so much a physical cost, but it is the emotional cost, and it costs us in experiences. That's the
mhm.
one. If I ever raise my hand like this is me telling on myself. This is how I confess. This is definitely one of the ones that I kept myself from a lot of things experientially
Mm,
because I thought X, Y, and Z about my body or how I was going to experience certain things. There's this idea that it's okay if I miss this because I don't have the right body for it. And again, I just want to make sure I level set. This is not a weight loss, weight gain, big woman, small woman conversation. As we said last week, someone's before is somebody's after, and
mm,
somebody's after is somebody's before. So it's not about the body size or body composition. You may have a really small body and have body dysmorphia. You may have the after body, and someone's like, oh my goodness, that's my before body, right? So it's all of us having this as an individual, and then we find ourselves not being acceptable to us.
mm.
So Morgan, how do you what are your initial thoughts on this idea of the cost of body criticism?
Well, just like last week, I shared with you at a very young age, like it was like third grade, I started realizing I had bigger hips and thighs than other people around me. And then when I got a little bit older, I would say probably about 13 is when it turned into, like your body's developing, and changing. So then I became very self conscious because I started having a shape. And so then I realized I wanted to be accepted so badly by everybody else around me that I wasn't going and hanging out with my friends as much in public because I didn't have the clothes that fit me the way theirs did.
Yeah,
And I didn't have that self confidence, because I already started shaming myself at a very young age. So
yeah,
I think it starts pretty young for a lot of women, I believe.
yeah. And I think that the sad thing is those things that happen early stick around.
Hmm.
So you're talking about self criticism, but of course, there's the criticism of others as well. This past week, and kind of preparing for this and preparing for this entire month, I've kind of dived into what is going on the web right now. What is going on social media? What are people saying about themselves? And I had to stop because it was messing my algorithm. Like I don't want to see all that negative stuff. I mean,
Right.
it's big business, you know. It sells. They say sex sells. Well, body shaming sells. It sells
Hmm.
herbs, vitamins, weight loss, shots, clothing. It sells, but it also destroys. And so the cost is high if you think this pill is going to make me feel better, or if I wear this kind of faja, or whatever it is, there's that cost too of someone else shaming you. I need this push-up bra, I need this minimizer bra, and I am not dissing a good minimizer bra. Okay, everyone needs at least one. Okay, because if you got the buttons just gaping open, stop that. Okay, put a minimizer on, all right? If it's flat and you want to wear that V-neck and nothing's happening, push them up. Okay, we're not saying that. But how do you feel? How do you feel when that's going on? Morgan, I think that women live under this invisible agreement that I'll do certain things when. And
Oh,
this was
yes.
definitely something that, I used to feel. I'll never forget. My sister used to be heavier than she is now. She's very, very thin. And she was heavier. We were, early 20s, I guess. Maybe I was, or maybe 20, I don't know, 21. But my sister had such a confidence about what her body could do. And I tried to get her on to talk about this. She's got a lot going on. She's like, I can't come on. But she had such confidence about what her body can do. And guess what? Her body did all the things. I had a smaller body, no confidence. And so I did not do the things. And now she
Mm,
has the numbers and I don't. So this idea of I'll do that when I lose weight, when I tone up, when I fit into size, whatever it is. See, because if you're a size 22, maybe the magic size for you is 16. Whereas if
mhm.
you're a size 16, the magic size may be 6, 8, 10, whatever. Confidence doesn't come from a size. And if we don't get anything else through with this series, let's just
I love
please level set. Confidence does not have a particular size. If you look it up in the dictionary, which I did not in
it.
preparation for this, I probably should have, look it up. You're not going to find a picture of what confidence looks like. You're not going to find a waist circumference, a hip width, a thigh measurement. You're not, because that's not what
Mm,
this is about. The thing is that if you're waiting for a surgery, an implant, a tuck, a mommy makeover, whatever it is, life is going on. I'm not ever saying that you shouldn't do what you need to do to make yourself comfortable. And Morgan, please cut me off and be like, Tony, you're wrong, you know. But I feel like if life is going on while you're waiting for these things, then life is going on while you're waiting for these things. And there's something that you're missing.
Well, I really like how you brought out the memories that you miss, because there's so many things that happen on a daily basis. It could be tiny little things, but it's like, oh, I don't want to be in this picture because I'm at the beach and I don't feel good. Or
That's the
I
biggest
don't,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Pictures
Or
is
it is. It's hard because you have an idea in your head of what you think you look like or you should look like, because you might have looked like that in the past. So because it doesn't fit that frame now, you decide not to enjoy some of the best moments that you could ever have in your life. And then these other people have moments that you don't. They have
yeah,
those
and
memories. You don't.
you know what? It's not even the best moment. It could be the only moment.
Mm. Oh my goodness, yes.
Like think about the pandemic. It's so interesting because my mother-in-law, and she loves taking pictures. She just doesn't do it that often, Mark's mom.
Mhm.
But because there were so many funerals, memorial services on Zoom, she's like, I'm going to start taking pictures. How you guys going to make a movie of me? I'm like, Mom, I got you. I make movies. But it came to her that like people had, some had 2, 3 pictures. That's it. Others had, it was like you're watching for like 30 minutes, right?
Right.
And so she started taking pictures every single week when she gets dressed for worship. She take a picture, you know, pose. Some just sitting at the kitchen table. And so it means she wasn't not doing it for anybody. It wasn't crossing her mind. I use it as an example that
Right.
sometimes without even realizing it, we have excluded ourselves from certain things. I was thinking about the word cost and what it means and price and what it means. And I was thinking about, believe it or not, I'm thinking about, you know, the playoffs right now, Knicks, I was thinking about them and I was thinking about, when you get a foul, right?
Mhm.
Did a foul, you do your foul shots, whatever the case may be. That's a penalty. There's a cost for making that mistake.
Mhm.
Okay, there's a cost.
Yeah.
So it's a penalty, a cost, it's a price, something has to happen. So you have to give up something for something else. Okay, so you elbowed this dude, right? And so now you have to give up. He gets to do shots, right? So that you don't, that's good for his team and not good for yours. You gave up something, there's a penalty. So when you decide to give up things like, I'm not going to experience things, I'm not going to go to that wedding, I'm not going to take these pictures, I'm
Mhm.
not going to ever go swimming, I don't go to the beach, or if I go to the beach, I'm fully clothed. Um, I can't speak up at work in the body that I'm in. I don't want to
Mhm.
date, or I don't want to potentially have a relationship with a man. Um, I am married, but I avoid intimacy. Now I'm gonna talk about it, right? I only have intimacy with the lights off. Just being so for real. We're midlife women here, right?
Mhm.
I don't travel. I don't go on excursions, or I travel, but I won't do things that everybody else do. So I stay back at the hotel, right? Right. That used to be me. Right. I was afraid. I was afraid I'm going to break something. I'm going to break somebody. Like something's going to happen, and I'm grateful that I had a husband all this time that said, "Girl, we going right. I'm not going alone." Right? Because he didn't like to do things by himself. So that was helpful to me. But the whole time I'm back, I'm in my head.
Mhm.
There's pictures. The experience took place. I'm not sure that I got to enjoy it. So there was a cost. There was a cost. So either you don't do it at all, there's a cost for that. And the cost is like you should be gaining something. If you give something up, you should be gaining something, Morgan. And as
Mm.
I thought about this, I was just, I was just writing this out and I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. So what you're telling me is that if I give up opportunities, then the cost or the penalty, what am I gaining? What am I getting back?
Mhm.
Oh,
How does
peace of
this
mind?
benefit you?
Not
Yeah,
really. Not
yeah.
really. Oh, I don't have to feel embarrassment. Okay. How long does embarrassment last? All right. Oh, so I'm afraid, so then do I feel more peace of mind?
Mm.
Probably not. So it's like, if there's going to be a cost, you should be getting something back and you're not, which means it's time to stop. Just period. It's time to stop. You know, I think there's a lack of trust. That idea that we talked about last week, that idea of a lack of trust. And I'll
Mhm.
just do a super short personal story. Whatever you hear when you're young, you will carry with you. you
Yeah.
know, you will carry it with you. And, you know, so many of my clients have told me the message they heard about their body when they were young. I'll never forget the first client that I decided to, when I started really dressing women years ago, about a decade ago. And she was probably a size 10 or 12, shapely girl, cute, she was deaf, it was lovely. She wore really frumpy clothes, nothing ever fit, and I was confused. And she said she wanted help. She wanted me to do, take care of her skin. I said, let's go bra shopping. Let's go find some clothes. She had plenty of disposable income. Let's go shopping. Right. I was thinking we were going, she was okay. Well, I like to shop at Nordstrom. Great. Let's go. You know what I mean? And what was interesting was that the things that she picked was what she was told she should wear.
Oh my goodness. That is such a
It
good
was
point.
not good for her at all. They were terrible. So she I said, you go and you pick your stuff and then you try them on. And then I looked and tried to keep my face like this because it wasn't good. And then I said, okay, do you mind if I pick? And she was in shock. Baby, you got a waist. Baby, you got hips. Baby,
Mm,
your breasts are not on your navel. Let's lift them up, right?
mhm.
What she was told to hide was based on somebody else's standard,
Or
somebody else's
insecurity.
expectation for their body.
Yeah.
Once she realized, oh, I can live by a different standard, then the cost of someone else's body criticism for her started to lessen.
Wow. And that has a lot to do with the fact that women always feel like they have to look perfect all the time. And so because of that, well, first of all, it's humanly impossible to look perfect because we're imperfect humans. But when you have that mindset that you have to fit into this size, into this shape, and then you're projecting that onto somebody else, it completely distorts your idea of reality,
Yeah,
or in self-esteem. So
yeah.
how did she react when you did that? Like, what was her response?
So when we got home, I'll never forget that we came to my house, and because we had left all her makeup and skincare here at my house, and we bought a lot. Plus, I'm a good shopper, so I didn't spend all our money either. And we spread all of the outfits out in my living room, all the outfits. And I remember her
Mhm,
standing in the living room like she didn't cry. She's not super emotional, but she was like in awe that this is what I get to wear. This is what I
mhm.
get to be. And every time she'd wear one to worship and I see her, I'm like, I want to give it away. I don't want to feel, self-conscious, but I was like, you look amazing.
Yeah.
Check you out. You know what I mean? And I think, but it was that idea that someone else had given her that their standard.
Mhm.
And I think that's also something that's so important that the if if someone has given it to you or me, right, in the past, then we don't get cured or healed from that. We are going to pass it on to somebody else. And it may be a daughter, but it may be a friend. It could be someone we don't even know. Like, when you're scrolling and
Mhm.
there's a girl, whatever, big, small, whatever the case may be, and then they're ripping her up in the comments.
Mm.
The thing was about her dog. Why are we talking about her butt? Like, I don't like that kind of stuff baffles me. That's why I got to get off this particular
Yeah.
algorithm. Like, I got to fix my algorithm because I was curious what's going on. I don't want to see all that
Yeah.
negativity. That's too much for me. That's too much for me.
No, we're just constantly bombarded with that too. Like you said, you just went on for a couple things, and then because of the algorithm, it kept feeding it to you. So then it makes you start thinking a certain way about yourself because you're seeing all these things, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So obviously there's this hidden cost. We talked about what happens as far as experiences are concerned. And I do think that is sad. And I think the biggest one is pictures. And I think that, I definitely was a person who, you want to get tucked in between. And Morgan, you may not have ever experienced that, but this is a big girl situation. You're going to get tucked behind somebody. I see pictures where a person, how come I only see you from here up and there's only like four people? You're hidden behind, right?
Mhm.
We know this, we know your body is there.
Mhm.
Like people know. Okay, so what? The body that you are on the outside is not who you are. It's just a container. And I think if we start to remember that it's a container, there was a like a motivational speech that I used to give, like a presentation, and it
Yeah.
was called "The Body is Just a Container," because when speaking with so many women, it's like the body becomes more than that. It's just a container. Now, if you want to change your container, go forth and have fun, but to hide the container, to not live in the container, to constantly be berating and be self-deprecating about the container starts to belittle your worth And that's one of the costs. So these are the things, like there's many experiences that women are missing, they're not doing, not wearing, not going, things like that. But then there's, getting to actor, we're about what's happening on the inside, because so many times that's much more detrimental,
Mhm.
on a long-term basis. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So most women can identify with like visible costs, of what's going on, but a lot of them don't take into consideration like the invisible ones, the ones that are happening on the inside. And first and foremost, just the like let's start off with like mental energy that it
Yeah,
takes to be in your head all the time. It is absolutely exhausting when you're constantly criticizing yourself or comparing yourself to other people. It takes more out of you than you think, you know? And then there comes like self-monitoring. Like, should I have this? Or people looking at you like you're going and getting a plate at somewhere to eat or something like that. People are giving you a look, and it's like, well, I have the right to eat too. Like, why? But then you realize you're
that's
not
a
putting
big
yourself
one.
on eat. It's
Yep.
like it's like I'm hungry. I like I want to eat, but then you feel self conscious, and then like I even noticed like teenagers doing that.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
they're like looking at their friend's plate next to them, and they're kind of like scooting some off. The amount of social nervousness that comes with being scared, at a buffet or even like social events, being worried about your body and comparing yourselves to other people, it it's devastating. It's devastating to you mentally, and then your body remembers all of that pain, you know?
And it's like making like I always talk about the brain and making those wrinkles, right?
Yeah.
We're creating those inroads that, oh, this is how we feel when we're in these events. Oh, so the next time, no matter what, oh, but this is how we're supposed to feel. It creates
Mhm,
a pattern.
mhm. Whether you feel that way or not, it's imprinted, you know? So and then also, like, avoiding doing things. Um, Me personally, like, avoiding going on a trip to Europe because I had an idea of what I should have looked like in this one outfit, and I didn't, and so I had missed an opportunity of a lifetime all because I was in my head. Well, like, I mean, but how many of us have done that?
Yeah.
Like, we really miss out on a beautiful opportunity to have life, to live life, to experience life, but we don't because we are so what is that, like, critical.
Yeah.
We're so critical of ourselves
That's a
constantly.
cost. It's a high cost.
It's a huge cost.
Huge
Like, could
cost.
you imagine the awesome pictures I could have had of Europe?
It's
This
gonna come. Don't worry,
would be
James.
my background.
It's gonna come. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, but then a lot of that can also too come with feeling lesser than the
Yes.
people around you. It can be in the way you speak, the way you walk, you talk, you dress, your business, your job, whatever it may be. We can really get stuck in our heads about that. So it comes at a heavier cost than we really, really may think.
Yeah. It's interesting, Morgan, you're talking about teenagers, right? It
Mhm,
comes at a particular time, and it's when peers start to compare and start to contrast with each other. It doesn't happen with little kids, although it's happening younger and younger. So it's starting now about 8, 9, 10 years old. I was looking up some
yeah,
statistics about this. It's starting way younger, especially with our girls, and it's happening with our boys where it didn't used to. It's happening with our boys more now than ever. We talked about that last week as well. But one thing is interesting about body dissatisfaction or body criticism is that it's actually connected. This has been scientifically proven and studied that it's associated with a reduced quality of life. Now, I'm gonna tell you what, quality of life is like vitally important because there's so many things we can't control. And so if you don't participate in social activities, you can control that. If you decide that I'm not going to get this job, as you were mentioning. I'm not going to go for this promotion. I'm not going to get
mhm,
on social media. So many of my clients, when I first started doing copywriting coaching and encouraging women to go live, I spent
mhm.
years with that, years. And most of them, they would not go live because of their body. This is before Facebook content. You had to have your face up there. I was that coach. I'll call you every day. Did you go live yet? There'll be people on here. Did you go live yet? What happened? Because it was what was needed at the time for their businesses, but they wouldn't do it because they were nobody. If your message is deep enough and dope enough, ain't nobody looking at you like that.
Not
Now,
like
I'm not
that.
telling you to come out here with your hair, like saying your teeth, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Look, let me pat mine down. I'm not saying that, but I mean, if the message is good, no one's really paying attention to that. but you can end up literally having lower quality of life. You can, and it starts young, but it persists into midlife. And this idea of, you know, midlife, you get to a point in midlife, I'm midlife plus, right? 50s, life is going to start getting a little bit more tricky as it is, right?
Mhm.
Things you can't control, body issues, and I'm talking about physical body issues, health issues,
Right.
caretaking, things that you cannot control. So the things that you can, what you decide to do, how you decide to feel, we have to take control of those things. We have to take control of those things because there's no time left now to grow out of it. You can't. You can grow out of something when you're 8, but when you're 40,
Well, Tone, seriously, like when I was preparing for this episode, it really made me surprise what was like coming to the forefront of my mind and how much. Okay, so
go
I'm not
ahead,
even
spill
joking.
it, spill it.
Girl, I'm not even joking. Like, I didn't realize how much I used to always be in my head about everything constantly, and like how inadequate I was in so many different areas of my life. And so then constantly thinking about it and how others were going to like perceive me if I did this or if I didn't do that or if I said this or didn't say that or wore this, didn't wear that. There were so many conversations going on in my head and I was so grateful for all the different mentors that I had to help me shift that, because that was like a changing point in my life because I had such a, a negative idea of what this was,
And
all of
distorted.
this
Let's say not just negative, distorted.
distorted. Yeah, my reality wasn't my reality. Like people were telling me things and I thought it was true, but it wasn't. So then them helping me retrain my thinking and my idea and my view of myself, it was a powerful thing. But not everybody has somebody to help them with that, you know?
You got
So
us.
exactly. That's exactly what made me drawn to this too, is being in a situation where you can heal.
Yeah,
We can heal, we can teach you, we can help you. We're not going to cure everything. That's not what we do. We're not that. But we can help you manage it so that you can have a better sense of self-worth and
yeah,
confidence.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because the thing is that I appreciate that. I mean, obviously, we're going to do some EFT a little bit, just a couple of minutes. We're going to do some EFT. We're going to do a little journaling because I think that's super important. But the thing
Mhm.
is, too much time is being wasted on managing appearance or the feelings about appearance. And again,
Mhm.
we're talking about the cost, and that's one of the costs as well. Constantly buying new clothes, constantly, even being trendy or things like that. It's interesting because both of us have daughters in the late teens and 20s. And I think a good daughter is like the best thing you can have, right? Because a daughter will help you stay on track, will not let you get too far out in left field. A good daughter, right? Not too far out in left field. And
Mhm.
my daughter is one of these ones who she's such a got to get her on her one of these days, but she's such a she's amps me up. You know what I mean? She's an amper. You know what I mean? Like she's an amplifier. And I really don't need amplification. Okay, but
Yeah.
she also knows when I'm off base, when I'm
Mhm.
thinking wrong thoughts, when I'm like, does this look good? You know what I mean? I mean, you have certain insecurities, and a good daughter who, and the reason they're good is because you've trained them well. They
Yeah.
will come back and mirror what you need. And I think that's so powerful when that happens. So, let's make sure that this entire summer, this season, that not only are we continuing to let ourselves be involved with things, starting to like open that door of trust, but also remembering that if I'm paying this enormous cost by not doing something, maybe I don't want to do that anymore. And that's where change can come in because at some point it becomes bigger than criticism and becomes ideas that we have altogether.
Mhm.
I know that you and I have very different backgrounds and even this idea, a lot of what happened to you happened because you lived in a particular area where nobody looked like you. Okay.
Mhm.
You were perfectly fine. There's nothing. I mean, everyone's perfectly fine, but there was nothing. There was nothing different at all. Had you lived where I was growing up, you'd have been like,
Right.
"Girl," right?
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I mean, I was a heavy girl, and there was a lot of rhetoric about it. I was a person of color in an area that didn't have a lot of people of color at all. But
Mhm.
bigger than all of that, being and a lot of that has paid its own cost, right?
Mhm.
But bigger than most of that was what was said and what was allowed to be said. And
Mhm.
many times it was from people that I respected. So like my mom's friends, some
Mhm.
aunties, older cousins, where literally the only worth you had was what you looked like. And now I look back at some of them, some of my older cousins, I love them to pieces, but it's like, while you spend so much time on that, look at your life now. Like, what did it do for you? Did it
Happening.
make your life great? Did it make your life better? Are you
Mhm.
are you thriving because you used to go to Studio 54 with a teeny waist? Like, did that do it for you, or is there more? So when you think about this particular summer and you say, okay, I'm going to avoid the bathing suit, the shorts, all family photos. I'm not going to go to the reunion. I'm not going to the pool. I can't go to that wedding. Like, think about for yourself, what is going to be the cost of that? Have you ever seen that? Because I know, again, you didn't have the same kind of body image situation. A lot of yours was put on you by
Mhm.
other people. Did you ever experience anything like that?
Yeah, but honey, like you said, it's in a different way. So for me, it wasn't so much my mom, her being like, "Oh, you being making me self-conscious." My mom's a total hippie, so she's just like, "La, la, la, la,
Right.
la." Yeah. No, it wasn't like, we're good if we could keep clothes on her. No, I'm just joking. So, it was completely different. It was actually my papi, and it wasn't anything in it like him trying to say anything negatively
No, it was
or
just,
about myself. What that looked like was him telling me, "Hanusha, like, this is what a classy woman looks like. This is what
mm,
a confident woman looks like. These are the things like that you should do before you leave your house. Make sure you always have your face on, have your hair done, be dressed to the nines, make sure that you take pride in yourself when you step out that door, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. You should like have pride and
mhm.
confidence in yourself. But I perceived that then in turn as, unless all of these things are done, it's not
Mm,
okay for me to be out there. Unless I look a certain way, it's not okay. It made me become so
very
self
self-conscious, yeah.
feeling like I had to be perfect all the time, that it just had to be this 100% of the time. So then that's also where, like, my body dysmorphia came into, like, strong, like, really, really strong. That's, like, when I started developing an eating problem, an eating disorder. Like, I didn't, you know, it all because in my head, I thought I should have been this big because everybody else around me was this big, but my body was perfect the way it was. I looked so healthy. Like, looking back at the pictures of me, I looked so healthy. And then the thing is, too, dude, like, I worked out with my poppy and my brother at the gym every night. So I was in shape. I had muscle, I had tone, I had definition, all these things. But for some reason, because I couldn't look like this cookie cutter thing, it didn't feel right. So everybody deals with a different sense of what they feel confident in, like what they feel their body should look like and what they're confident with. But I think so that was more so mine, not having like negative things said to me, just like, this is what I expect of you. This is what a woman is.
So let's just take a moment, okay? This is unplanned, but let's just do a little reparenting, okay? What did you need to hear?
That it's okay for me to have a shape and I look good.
Okay. And so what would that have sounded like from your dad?
Mm, just that that looks very nice on you, just the way it is.
Mhm. Y'all, we always have to keep it real here in getting to after, and we had to take a little break to do some reparenting. This particular topic brings up so many things that connect to so many other things. Um, Morgan, you were talking a moment ago while we were doing our little coaching moment about how this idea of messages you were given when you were young, how they then filtered into your children's father, messages you were given about your body, criticisms you were given, even
Mm,
positive criticisms like, you're so shapely, you have to cover yourself with a sack. That's a
mhm,
criticism, right? Every criticism isn't because someone thinks you're ugly. Let's just put that out there as well. A lot of criticisms can be because you're beautiful or because they think you're going to be too overly sexy. And those
mm,
parental things can come down too and still create that insecurity that later on in life make you want to wear a sack. Okay. So we want to make
mm,
sure that we don't miss that part too. So talk to me a
mm.
little bit about how that kind of showed up in your life and basically what just happened. Don't share everything. You share what you want, but in terms of how that kind of showed up with your kid's father.
So because there was such a big age difference between the two of us, or he was 20 years older than I am,
Okay.
um, you saw it. You saw that there was 20 years difference. And so it was interesting because I've always taken care of myself. Like I told you guys, like I've been working out since I was a kid, and that's part of that's my lifestyle, So I was always very toned and in shape. And so it was really frustrating because he wanted me to look good, but then when I looked good, I would get in trouble for looking good
Hmm.
because then it would draw attention from everybody else. And it's like, oh, you think the grass is greener on the other side. Da, 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 da. So I was getting mixed signals like crazy my whole life about my body. It's like, okay, so am I allowed to be pretty or not? Can somebody just tell me? Just tell me what do you want from me? Am I supposed to hide and be smaller and
Disappear.
yeah. Or am I allowed to be myself and be like, "Hey, this is what my heavenly Father created me to be. Like, let me own it. Let me acknowledge it. Let me give him praise by acknowledging what I have and showing it." So it was really, really hard because I'm like, man, I'm 20 something. I look pretty decent, but I'm in trouble because I look decent. Okay, now I'm 30. I have 4 kids, but I still look really good. But I'm being punished because I look good, but I better look good. You know what I mean? It was so confusing.
Yeah.
So confusing. So even right here, right now, we're doing this for you guys. And yet Chatone was able to bring something to my attention that I was like, oh my goodness, that's where that came from in seconds. So when I tell you this stuff works, like EFT is no joke. In seconds, it was like just 5 minutes?
Yep.
That we were able to get to the
It's
root
like
of
get
why.
to it, bring
Yeah.
the energy down. Like
Yes.
just bring it down. Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
were able to get to the root of why I'm so confused about whether or not I'm allowed to feel confident with myself the way I am.
And you're not confused anymore. And you know
Yeah.
what? The reason why I wanted you to talk about that a little bit, and obviously there's much more story to that. So hopefully you can piece together.
Mhm.
And that might show up to our audience as well, is that it has to do again going all the way back. We're talking about criticism of ourselves and criticism from other people has a lot to do with the permission we give people to
Mm,
do that. When we're a young person, we may not have a choice. And if you're from the Black culture, you better not talk back. Okay, you know better. All right, you keep it tight and you keep it inside. You keep
mhm.
it down there. You keep that angst in you that I'm not good enough. You keep it down because you can't say anything.
Can't say anything.
Right? That's like you better not. Right?
Mhm,
But now you don't have to now take those messages that you heard, keep them so tight that you've now distrusted yourself, that you're allowing criticism from a long time ago that shouldn't have been said in the first place to carry you through this summer or any summer going forward. And also remember that the boundaries that you create, the boundaries that you live by, are what going to be, those are the things that are going to help you to have the joy.
mm,
Those are the things that are going to get you to have the experiences.
yeah,
Because sometimes what we've done is we've created this wall, this boundary. It's a boundary keeping us from doing something. But we've already just learned. If the penalty is I'm not doing it, then what did I get?
yeah,
Nothing, right? So I
yeah.
love the fact, Morgan, that you're always so willing to just play along with me because sometimes I'm just like, ooh, let me just stop the recording for a second. I cannot let y'all see everything.
But it's so
Told
important
you
that
the other
people
week is
realize,
it's
right?
important. I told them
Yeah.
the other week everything's not their business, right? But it's but it's vital to know that you even need to create boundaries with yourself. Like what are you allowed to say to yourself?
Mm, and
What are you allowed to say when you're going bathing suit shopping?
mhm.
What are you allowed to say when you're at the beach to yourself? It takes practice. It takes practice. What are you allowed to say? You shouldn't be allowed to say everything, and you definitely shouldn't allow other people to.
And then when you catch yourself saying something, immediately reframing it, like immediately turning
So
it into
important. Yeah,
something
turn into
completely
something
different.
else. And it doesn't mean that you negate it and say, okay, well, I think I look, yeah, I can't even say those negative things, but it's like, it's not to say maybe it's not true. Okay, maybe you have this a larger belly. Okay, that's a fact. But the truth is, and I said this last week, don't let the facts get in the way of the truth. The truth is that you have a belly, okay? And that is a part of your body, okay? And it deserves to go get some sun.
Uh,
That's what's up. That's what's up. So
yeah.
thank you, Morgan, for always playing along with me. All the
Absolutely.
things we are constantly not just practicing with clients. I let her coach me all the time. It's beautiful when you get to be in relationship with people that um, are like-minded, and that's why the midlife tapping search is so important, right? We're going to
Mhm.
be in a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing a pop-up where you don't have to be our everyday client. You don't have to be in a big subscription with us, where you'll be able to kind of check out what it looks like, and it's going to be
Mhm.
a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that link. We're going to have that out soon. So Morgan, we're going to
Awesome.
jump into some tapping real quick. Before we do that, one of the things I like to do, just like last week, is ask some reflection questions that help you to get to what is it that you need to tap on.
Mm.
Obviously, I've talked to you guys about our journal before. Let me put the link up. Morgan, show them our journal. Yeah. So this journal right here, this one,
Um,
okay? So
beautiful.
it's so good. It's so good. And the whole point is that this is where you can put down the things that maybe during the week, something's bothering you, or you have a memory and it's like, ooh, I haven't ever gotten to the root of that. Write that down, because that's the kind of thing that you can tap on later. You can tap on it with us in the podcast, or you decide to work with us one on one. You already have those notes. You have the best idea of where you are emotionally, where your nervous system is. But if you don't capture that someplace, it's easy to just kind of forget about it, bury it again, and just keep it
Oh,
held tight.
revisiting it, like, when you're able to, like, really go through and, like, and look at everything that you've written down, you're like, "Oh my goodness, this is so powerful to be able
Yes.
to realize that it's a chain reaction."
Yes.
Being able to
Yep.
go backwards
Yep.
and find everything, it's crazy.
And one of the things that I love about it, I have a whole ecosystem of writing and journaling. I have several, right? Each one has
Uh-huh.
its own purpose. But the reason why I keep my tapping in that one place is that I don't have to look through a lot of other things. I have a
Mhm.
calendar. I have a theocratic journal, so where I put all my spiritual notes and spiritual and Bible study. I have a little tiny book that I keep with me in my pocket, so that it's kind of like field notes. I'm working
Yeah.
on a book, so I keep a book that just has notes for the book. Like, I have all these things. I have an ecosystem. But for my tapping, that one place,
Mhm.
because when I stop tapping, I'm not working on tapping. This is where it resides. So I can always come back. And just a little tip, one of the things that I've done, and I don't know if I've taught this here in the podcast, or shared it before, but one of the things I like to do once I have tapped on something and I think I got this down, then I like to highlight that and or circle it. I never cross anything out, but I may circle it or put a highlighter on it, like, okay, this is something I think I got to a certain point. Because what happens visually is that when you look through the book and you say, oh, I got through this and I got through that, when you
Mhm.
see that same highlight, so good.
When you showed me to do that or taught me how to do that, I was blown away. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, look, I didn't realize I had accomplished so
Exactly.
much and made the progress." I was like, I felt stagnant, but then you're like, "Honey, just go back and look at your book." And I'm like, "There's nothing in here," and I'm looking, I'm like, "Oh, dag."
I did some. Look,
We taught a lot of stuff.
I did some things. All right. So here's a couple of questions that I want you to think about. We have 5 questions for you today. Last week, I think we did 4. This week, we have 5. Remember, again, under the kind of the umbrella of, um, what is the cost of body criticism? So if you think perchance, I don't criticize myself, nothing has stuck with me, journal on the questions. And if you're in the replay, you can always pause and you can just take time to do it. If you're watching us live, thank you, but you can always come back, all right? So the first question is, what experiences have you postponed waiting for your body to change?
Mhm.
Waiting for your body to change. A lot of times this happens right between that time of kind of like the 30s to midlife, because maybe you have just had children and things like that. Your body's changed a lot, and you're like, all of a sudden, I won't do X, Y, or Z, right?
Mm.
So, what experiences are you postponing while waiting for your body to change? The second thing is, what memories deserve more attention than your appearance?
Mm.
What memories? Because sometimes if you're not doing something because you're worried about your appearance, now you're missing the memory. In other words, what memory would you like to have that you could care less about how your body shows up, because the memory the experience is taking place inside of you. The joy comes on the inside, not the outside. The third thing is, what would participating fully this summer look like for you? Just this summer. We're not going to get into the whole season of life. We're not going to get into all of 2026. What would participating fully this summer look like for you? Whatever that looks like. Journal on it. Journal on it. The fourth thing is, what permission have you been waiting to give yourself? And this is a big one, because we often don't think about, I have permission. What permission have you been waiting to give yourself? It may be only one thing. Maybe it's speaking up to someone who always has something to say about you. You know, you got that one girlfriend or that one auntie. Girl, you're looking kind. As soon as they do that,
You're like, oh, here it comes.
Right? Yeah. So what permission have you been wanting to give yourself? Permission to give someone a little, don't hurt anyone, okay? But you could do it with your tongue, but be nice. I'm just saying, all right? And the last thing is, this is my favorite question always: what is possible if you stop waiting? What's possible? What's possible? What you now know what you're missing. What would it feel like? What is possible if you just stop waiting, if you just put the waiting game down?
I absolutely love how you always remind us to journal, because we can be going through the process of processing the information so quickly that we're like, oh, we're done with that. We're good. But having it in writing and writing it out, just like really writing it out and then visually seeing it on paper, it helps you heal.
Yeah.
It really does. Like getting it out of your system, it really helps a lot. So don't take it for granted.
Nope, don't take it for granted. We do it. We still doing it. So Morgan, will you tap out for us?
Girl, you know it. Come on. Okay, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and get into some tapping. But first, we're just going to take one long deep breath in, and then one long deep breath out. And then we'll go ahead and we'll start on the karate chop point, which is the side of our hand right here. But what you do is you just gently start tapping on this. You can do it with 4 fingers, 3 fingers, 2 fingers, whatever is comfortable for your hand position, because you still get all the pressure points. So we're going to take a deep breath in and out. Now, if you notice, Chatone will be repeating after me. You can choose to do that out loud, or if you'd like, you can do it in your own head. Whatever you feel the most comfortable with is just fine. Even though I've spent time waiting for my body to change before fully living life.
Even though I've spent time waiting for my body to change before I started fully living life.
I honor how hard that has been.
I honor how hard that's been.
Even though I've postponed experiences.
Even though I've postponed experiences.
Opportunities. And joy while trying to become acceptable to myself.
And joy while trying to become acceptable to myself.
I choose to meet myself with compassion.
I choose to meet myself with compassion.
Even though part of me still believes life will begin when my body changes.
Even though part of me still believes that life will begin when my body changes.
I'm open to new possibilities.
I'm open to new possibilities.
Nice. We're going to go ahead and start at our eyebrow point. I've spent a lot of time waiting.
I've spent a lot of time waiting.
Waiting to feel more confident.
Waiting to feel more confident.
Waiting to feel more comfortable in my own skin.
Waiting to feel more comfortable in my own skin.
Waiting to feel good enough.
Waiting to feel good enough.
Waiting to wear the clothes.
Waiting to wear the clothes.
Waiting to get in the picture.
waiting to get in the picture.
Waiting to stop judging myself.
Waiting to stop judging myself.
Waiting to fully participate in my life.
Waiting to fully participate in my life.
What have I been trying to earn?
What have I been trying to earn?
Maybe confidence.
Maybe confidence.
Maybe acceptance.
Maybe acceptance.
Maybe belonging.
Maybe belonging.
Maybe permission.
Maybe permission.
Permission to enjoy my life.
Permission to enjoy my life.
Maybe I've had some of these things all along.
Maybe I've had some of these things all along.
Maybe I don't have to wait anymore.
Maybe I don't have to wait anymore.
I give myself permission to stop being quite so hard on myself.
I give myself permission to stop being quite so hard on myself.
I give myself permission to enjoy this season of my life.
I give myself permission to enjoy this season of my life.
I'm open to creating new memories now.
I'm open to creating new memories now.
I'm open to experiencing more joy now.
I'm open to experiencing more joy now.
I don't have to keep earning my worth.
I don't have to keep earning my worth.
I don't have to keep earning my right to belong.
I don't have to keep earning my right to belong.
I'm willing to release what no longer serves me.
I'm willing to release what no longer serves me.
And I'm willing to let it go.
And I'm willing to let it go.
Let's take a deep cleansing breath. Blow out. Now breathe in. And out. Eyebrow point. My life is happening now.
My life is happening now.
This season matters.
This season matters.
This version of me matters.
This version of me matters.
I deserve joy now.
I deserve joy now.
I deserve connection now.
I deserve connection now.
I deserve connection now.
I deserve connection now.
I deserve experiences now.
I deserve experiences now.
I deserve memories now.
I deserve memories now.
And I deserve my life right now.
And I deserve my life right now.
And breathe out. Breathe in. And quick, sweetly exhale and blow everything out.
That's good, Morgan. Thank you. So good.
You know, I love that last breath as you exhale out because you're pushing everything, all of that energy out before you allow more in to fully release it.
So
And when
good.
you blow it out so quickly, it forces it. Every emotion or anything that was stuck. It
Yeah, it's good.
really,
So I hope you guys did the tapping with us. I'm going to mention again, Morgan did our tapping last week, so don't miss last week's episode. These kind of piggyback. They're going to continue to grow. This series, we have at least 3 more weeks. So we have, or 2 more weeks, the 23rd and no, 16th. Third, anyway, we have a couple more weeks left. I don't know what the dates are, but there you go. We do have a couple of weeks left, so make sure you come on back. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, all of that, and make sure that you give it to someone that you care about. So before we go, one of the things that Morgan and I love to do is give a little love note. And last week we did what we called a grand affirmation, and today we're going to do a little love note. And this basically is for anyone who's have kind of gone through this waiting game. There's something about you that you haven't liked, and summer's been one of those seasons that has really plagued you. And we don't want that for you this year, all right? So I wrote a little something, a little love note for you. So first of all, you've already spent enough time waiting until you felt confident enough, comfortable enough, or good enough. You've already passed that. And some of that waiting has cost you some moments, some memories, some experiences, some joy. Please don't spend any more of your time beating yourself up over the fact that you missed things. But it is time to move forward. It is time. Maybe this summer, it'll be different for you. Just think about it. Journal on it, tap on it, and make it different. Maybe this summer isn't going to be about fixing yourself or shrinking yourself or trying to figure out how you can be more like someone else. Maybe this summer is about you earning your place in the picture, in the pool, on the trip to Europe, wearing the outfit. Get it in a smaller size, get it in a bigger size, put padding in your bra, do what you need to do to feel the confidence because you deserve to be there. It really is just about being there. Being present in the conversation, speaking up at work, telling someone no, creating the boundaries so that you feel comfortable in the version you are now, all of that helps make the memory. So do that. Know that you have the permission. I can't give you the permission, only you can. Your life is not waiting for some future version of you. The version you are right now, that's what you've got to play with. When you were a kid and you had so many Barbies, some of them had great hair, some of them did not have great hair. You play with them all. Play with what you have. Play with who you are, but don't forget to play, because that's where joy comes. If you take nothing else from today's conversation at all, I hope you take with you that you don't have to earn your right to have joy. You don't have to earn your right to decide, I don't want to hear that criticism anymore, not from somebody else and not from me either. Create the boundaries, give yourself the permission, and go have the fun all summer long.
Chatone, thank you. Like that love note, they are always so on point when you say them, and it speaks directly to our hearts. We just really honestly want you guys to remember that whether it's late spring, early summer, or whatever season you're in, this is the only summer, spring, and fall of 2026 that you're going to have. So go make the memories, go enjoy them, go enjoy your family, your kids, your friends, whatever you're doing. And remember that every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., we are right here to love on you too, to support you and encourage you through everything you're going through. So we welcome you back next week.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Morgan, for being my partner in crime all the time. We love you so much. Mwah.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.